You got it. 7:05. Yeah. Shotgun. Want to wait a little bit? Another 5 minutes? No. You guys see me? I can't.
No. There you go.
Now we can.
You see the lectern? Does not what?
That's good. That's not so good.
Yeah, it's
It's a nice looking chair though.
Yeah, isn't it? High quality.
there we go. All right. Sweet. 7:01. Get the party on the road. Welcome everyone. Greetings. It's looking a little Kafkaesque out here. I think that's how you say it, right? Okay. Just want to make sure it's looking a little Kafkaesque. So it's a little dead and quiet right now, but I'm sure it's gonna still be fun. We're gonna have a great time. Welcome, Niv and Sandeep. Perfect timing. I was just starting it, but welcome. Welcome to the first meeting of October, and our invocator isn't here today, so should I just switch it over to the club president?
No, you do the invocation, Sean.
I do the invocation. All right. Well, man, I didn't come prepared today, so.
Tell us a good joke. I know you got a good joke in there
Why the
somewhere.
chicken cross the road?
I don't know.
Get away for proper COVID distancing. Close, something like that. Because he wanted to attend the Toastmasters meeting. All right. Yeah. That's a smart reason.
That was very clever.
Let's see. All right, now let's switch it over to our club president, Mr. David Marshall. Sir.
Well, good evening, everyone. I'm tired today. Is everyone tired? It's just a lot. It's just one of those days, isn't it? So we're gonna keep this one kind of short and sweet, I think. Zach will probably be here soon, but we're gonna get this road on the show and keep it moving. So I don't have any major announcements today, except for I think we do have some club dues that still need to come in, right? So please get your dues in so that we can continue moving through pathways and doing what we got to do here, and you get all the benefit of being part of this awesome club. Yeah, I don't have any other announcements right now, so I'm just going to turn this over to the Toastmaster of the evening, Toastmaster Sean Mark.
Yes, sir. All right, well, back up. So, good evening, everybody. Welcome, Toastmasters members and guests. I see a bunch of familiar faces and a new face in the back. Welcome. So we have officially entered the 10th month of the year, October. And with October, many exciting things come with it. For example, Halloween, Yom Kippur for my Jewish folks in the crowd. Let's see, Columbus Day, Indigenous Day, Polish American Heritage Month, Italian American Heritage Month, National Breast Cancer Month, National Pizza Month, National Dessert Month, and National Country Music Month, and also National Book Fair Month. Yeah. all these are monumental things that are exciting and fun. But I think the coolest thing that happens during the month is the changing color of leaves. And like the color of leaves changing from green to yellowish orange, I decided to change it up from a small role to a big role tonight and took on the role as Toastmaster of the evening. So like David said in his speech last week, we can't stay complacent and we have to challenge ourselves, try to push ourselves outside our limit, go into the unknown basically. And we have to go into the unknown because that's the only way we can grow and become one step closer to the person we want to be. And so basically, to put it in short, the Toastmaster evening is like the pilot of an airplane. I ensure there's no turbulence and the ride goes smooth and mellow. But luckily, I'm not the only one running the show tonight. I got the help of my co-pilot, the general evaluator, which will be Mr. Lee Walker. And also I have the help of my flight attendants, which are the helper roles. Yes. And these people will help me or help make our journey be fun, safe, and a exciting learning experience. So our flight is divided up into three entertaining portions. The first portion will consist of a speech by David Marshall. The second portion will be table topics, which will be hosted by Table Topics Master Tammy Adama. And then our final portion will be evaluations, which will be hosted by Mr. Luke Dobbs. So now it is my pleasure to introduce the expert co-pilot, aka general evaluator, Mr. Lee Walker.
Welcome, fellow Toastmasters and guests to tonight's event. Serving as the general evaluator for our event this evening, and general evaluator, we evaluate starting after the previous meeting and up getting the agenda kind of lined up. And then as the meeting progresses, our current event evaluated. And I know some things kind of came to the last minute and I came on board. So we'll move right into our role reports. I'm not real sure how the agenda is really looking right now, but from it was grammarian. It was locked. It was still locked up when I saw it, so I didn't see a name there.
It was Tiffany Winfrey. Is she there
No, she's not here tonight.
already? I guess we need a new grammarian counter. Any volunteers?
I'll be a volunteer.
Okay, Sean.
Yeah. Is that okay? Take on 3 roles tonight?
3 roles, yeah.
Yeah, so Sergeant at Arms and
Sandeep, are you doing?
I don't have a role today.
You mind doing our counter?
I counter.
Very not counter.
Oh, you're giving me that role.
Yeah, you did. You mind?
Okay.
Want some pictures? You want to get the deals? I was just putting myself out there, so it's Toastmasters evening.
Okay. So go ahead, Sandeep. Tell us about the grammarian counter role.
Good evening, everyone. So I was the grammarian account even last time, so it's not a new thing to me. So as the grammarian, I'll be keeping a lookout. I'll watch out for your grammatical mistakes, and I will provide a report at the end of the meeting. And as the accounter, it's my responsibility to count the R's, any filler words, and all kind of things. I'll keep track of it, and I'll provide the report at the end of the meeting. So that would be my 2 roles today. Back to you, gentlemen.
Next role is Wordmaster Listen Up. Luke, let's welcome Luke.
Thank you, General Evaluator. I'll be the word master of the night, And with the word master comes a word of the day that I shall share, and we will try to use this word in our own context throughout the evening, and I will try to keep track and see if anyone used it and give a report at the end of the night. And that being said, our word of the night is Kafkaesque, a literary term from the notable author Kafka, and it is a situation or an adjective meaning a situation of having nightmarishly complex or bizarre qualities. Kafka's work is characterized by nightmarish settings in which characters are crushed by nonsensical or blind authority. So kind of means a dire situation, if you will. In addition to that, I will also be the listen up master of the night. And with that responsibility, I will listen, let's see here. It provides everyone here an opportunity to kind of work on their listening skills throughout the night and note particulars of each speech and event. So by the end of the night, I will be calling out phrases or things and asking for answers to where they were attributed to. So be on the listen for that. And with that, back to you, General Evaluator.
All right. Thank you. Our next role this evening is timer. So let's welcome up Andrew Bullock for timer.
Good evening. I am your timer for this evening. And as such, I will be keeping track of all the time, both for the speeches, the table topics, and for the evaluation. As you can see, I have this little video here for the timer. It was a blue Sonic head. When you reach your minimum time requirement tonight, Sonic will turn green. When you are halfway through your time range, you will see a yellow Sonic. And then when you have reached your maximum time, you will see the red Sonic. And if you exceed that little 30-second grace period, you get a little thriller dance, indicating that you do not qualify for any voting. And I will give my report at the end of each segment. Back to you, Mr. General Evaluator.
All right, thank you, Andrew. This evening is table topics master. Welcome, Tammy Adama.
Hello, everyone. I am in charge of asking you questions tonight and get you to do an impromptu speech, which will help you when you're at a wedding or during a job interview or anything where you have to come up with something spontaneous to say. Thank you, Mr. General Evaluator, I think.
Through our roles for the event this evening, and it's welcome up our Tish Master of the evening, Sean Markle.
Thank you, General Evaluator Lee, and my helper roles and his helper roles. Now we will move on to our first portion of the meeting, which is the prepared speech portion. So today we have one courageous speaker who will be advancing his educational program. The speaker is none other than the great David Marshall, who will be doing Project L1 research and presentation from the Visionary Communication Pathways. The name of his speech is Encouraging Through Evaluations. Failure can be viewed as an opportunity or an excuse. Every time we go up to the lectern to speak, we should look to fail because failure is an opportunity to learn. If we don't fail, we could be doing things wrong for decades and never grow. No, we should plan to fail. Those who fail to plan to fail. We always do our best, and we get excited for constructive feedback so we can improve. David Marshall has experienced people who have been doing it wrong for decades and are unwilling to learn, but not at New Beginnings Toastmasters. We will fail often, and we will fail forward. Tonight, Dave will discuss how we will encourage each other to learn from our imperfections by providing feedback through effective communications. Please give a warm welcome to David Marshall.
Right. Select just a word. How's that? Okay. Evaluations. We're all here to learn and speak, right? That's the whole reason why we're here. We're here to learn, to speak better, and to improve upon the way we are speaking and our presence and our tone and how we use hand gestures and that sort of thing. Do we all walk around with mirrors in front of us? Do we do that? We can't see ourselves, right? So for us to improve, we have to rely on those people that we trust to give us some evaluations, to give us some positive feedback. So there's two types of feedback. You got positive feedback and negative feedback. What do you think happens when you get positive feedback? What do you think? You get positive feedback, how do you feel?
Feel happy.
You feel happy, you want to improve, you want to move forward. What if you get negative feedback? Right, you don't want to get up here and do anything else, right? So that's the whole point of Toastmasters, is to step out of our comfort zones, like I spoke about last week, and to improve. So today I'm going to talk about encouraging through evaluations. Now, can't see myself, so those who are on Zoom, can you see me? Can't see me on Zoom?
Just your hand and part of your jeans.
Okay, so I'll come over here. Let me move the lectern. How's this? Let me move the lectern aside, because I don't want to stay in front of the screen. How's this?
Yeah, that's great.
Also, all right. Why are you jumping ahead? There we go. So here's our agenda. We're going to talk about the importance of an evaluation. It's very important to get that positive feedback so that we can improve. Because if we're not getting that feedback, there's nothing we can do to get better, right? That's the only way to get better, is if we do what we're going to do, get the feedback, and then use that feedback to continue to move forward. Effects of constructive feedback, the evaluation process. We're going to talk about how we evaluate. I'm going to give you an example, and then we're going to have a quick review. So I already talked about the importance of evaluation. It's really important to get that feedback, because that's the only way that we can grow, right? What if you had your favorite recipe and man, you've done it for years and no one ever said anything about it. They just ate it up, and you never seen anyone eat it, right? So you never seen the faces, and you just cook it the same way. And then all of a sudden someone says too much salt. It'd be kind of a rude awakening, right? You've been making this dish for 5 years. No one said anything. Now all of a sudden it's too salty. But what if you spent all night getting dressed up to go to some event and no one ever complimented you, right? You're not getting that feedback. So it's important to get that feedback. It's used to enhance our future results so that we can get better. Right? You walk out on stage and you have toilet paper stuck. No one said anything before you got on stage, and you're doing your whole presentation with toilet paper stuck or hanging out the back, right? You need that feedback, like, hey, let me pull that out for you. You don't want to go on stage like that. You need that. We want to be effective in our evaluations. We don't want to go up and just waste a person's time, right? We want to give good feedback that they can take and use to become better. So what's an effective evaluation? Effective evaluations can lift up a fellow Toastmaster, makes them feel better, confident, like the work they put in meant something, right? Like they put the work in, And even if it's not, it's not, so even if it went terrible, it's still something that they can learn from that. Don't we agree? Right? Even if it went terrible. Promotes increased ability. You can only get better by getting that feedback. And it promotes confidence. As an evaluator, you can promote confidence. Even if that person bombed completely, you can still find something to build their confidence. You could still say, hey, you got up there, and that's not easy. A lot of us, we did our icebreakers, and I remember you're just shaking, and and you got the lectern making all sorts of noises that's not supposed to make, right? Shaking all over the place. Careless evaluations can cause discouragement. And we're going to see, I'll give you an example later. You don't want a fellow Toastmaster to leave this room feeling discouraged. It already takes enough effort, right, to just get up here and do a table topic, or to get up here and do an icebreaker. Decrease confidence and increase self-doubt. They're already coming up here with doubt. I don't know how this is going to go. I don't know if I practice enough. I don't know if I'll remember every word of my speech. I don't know. And then you get a terrible evaluation, and you're like, well, see, I knew I wasn't ready. I'm not gonna do that again. We don't want that for our Toastmasters, right? We want to encourage that over time to get better. So how do we evaluate a speech? Well, first thing you want to do is meet with the speaker. As an evaluator, you want to go to your speaker and say, hey, what are you working on? What are the things that you want to improve upon? Is it hand gestures? Is it making eye contact? Is it using the space a little bit better? For me, one of my things is I look like I'm doing a salsa dance on a wall. So I'm doing all of this, every evaluation I'm getting this stuff, and I'm doing all of this, and they're like, you need to stop. so I'm trying to work on that. I'm being more mindful of moving with more intentionality. So meet with the speaker and say, hey, what do you want me to do? What do you want me to look for? Because every speech comes with an evaluation, but you don't want to just go off of that, because that person may want to work on something specific. So meet with the speaker. Be attentive to their speech. You don't want to be on your cell phone. You don't want to be chatting with the person that can see you. You're evaluating them. You want to pay very close attention to the person that you're evaluating. Give them that respect, because they're looking to you to give them that feedback so they can improve. And that's what you would want in return, right? Look for ways to encourage also. Even if it's their first time, like I said before, it bombed. Like, it was terrible. Like, they had, hands in their pockets. And we had one of our Toastmasters who, first time she spoke, you can hardly hear a word she said. But you know what? She got up there. She got up there and she tried. And I was proud. You should see her now. I hope she comes back to ECPI. She's a speaker. She's doing very well. I'm very proud of her. Take notes. What did they do well? We'll go back to even bomb. What did they do well? Well, they got up there. They had some eye contact. Didn't lean as much. The hands were out of their pocket. You can find something positive to say about someone's speech. You just have to look. What can they improve on? Well, great that you took your hands out of your pocket. Fantastic. Now you might want to use a little bit more eye contact. Maybe you want to address the audience a little bit better. You can use the space a little bit more. Use the space. Move with some intentionality. You don't want to stand in front of the monitor too long, but use the space. And provide a challenge. Next time I see you up there, I'd like to see some more hand gestures. I'd like to see you look at the audience more and use the space a little bit. That would be awesome to see. Here's the do. Have an opinion on delivery. Talk about delivery. Do not talk about content. Let's not comment on content because that's their speech. It's not our job to criticize what they're talking about because that's their material. We talk about delivery. We talk about hand gestures. We talk about eye contact. We talk about using space. We talk about inflection, voice inflection. I think Lee got me on that one last time. So I'm going to use more voice inflection during this speech so that I can use my what I learned last time in my evaluation. But we don't want to comment on the content. It's just not necessary. That's their speech, and they wrote about what they wanted to, and it has nothing to do with their delivery. Now, if you do have a comment on the content, that's not part of the evaluation portion of the event. You can turn to the side and just have that conversation personal with that person if they want to receive that. But as far as in the evaluation portion, we want to stick to the speech attributes. Here's an example. Jeff did his research and presenting on dogs are better than cats. First time doing it, right? And you can see he's had a hard time with it, right? He was monotone the whole time. He just spoke with one tone and he just did not use any voice inflection and he just sounded very boring and he just went through his presentation and did nothing. His hands were down by his sides and he stared at the floor. So basically he said, dogs are better than cats because I like them and cats suck and I like dogs better. So then that's the way. So probably terrible. Now Kathy gets up, she's his evaluator, right? Kathy comes up and she spends all her time talking about how cats are better than dogs. The entire 2 to 3 minutes. Well, cats are better than dogs because you don't have to walk them and you don't have to do all of this and you just feed them and all sort of stuff. Is that an effective evaluation? Is it? What do you think? You think that's effective?
No.
No. It's not effective evaluation. Because what is he going to take away from that?
Cats are better than dogs.
But it doesn't help him. I mean, that's his opinion, right? That discourages him. That's her opinion, but it doesn't change the fact he still loves dogs. So, but it doesn't help him become a better speaker. And all it's going to do is really it's going to aggravate him. So, anything useful to help Jeff improve his next speech? Was there anything useful in that? Probably not. How do you think he felt after this evaluation? How do you think he felt? Yeah? How do you think he felt?
Like he wasted his money on Toastmasters.
Oh man, discouraged, right? Like he wasted his money on Toastmasters. That's not what we do. Let's give it another example. So he finishes his research and presenting project, and he gets a positive comment on completing the speech. Kathy comes up and she says, "Great speech. Looks like you had put a lot of time and effort into researching why you think dogs are better than cats, and that's fantastic. Make suggestions about the attributes, not content. Well, I noticed that you stared at the floor most of the time and your hands were down by your side. You didn't use your hands much and you're very monotone. That's what I noticed. Is use a challenge. I challenge you next time when you do this speech again to maybe use some more eye contact. Let's acknowledge the people in the audience. And you could use the space a little bit more. You can use gestures. When you're showing that you like dogs, you say, I like dogs. Dogs are awesome. Use your hands better. And provides encouragement. Fantastic job. I'm Glad that you even got up there to do your research and presentation project. I see that you did a lot of research, and I'm looking forward to you doing it again. Remember, I'm going to challenge you, more eye contact, use your hand gestures, and let's use some voice inflections so that we can bring some life to your presentation. So she's providing useful feedback. It's encouraging, building his confidence, and he's ready to tackle that next speech. He's got something tangible he can go to use to do his speech next time. It doesn't even have to be research and presenting because he can use that on any speech. It's universal. And he feels like he got something out of it. So recap, an evaluator should meet with the speaker before your speech. You give him a call and just say, hey, I'm your evaluator. What do you want me to look for? What are some of the things you're trying to work on? Tell them what they did well. Hey, you did fantastic research on that. I'm glad that you got up there. I've noticed that you really have passion for dogs and why you think they're better than cats. Fantastic. So I want they can improve on. I think that your presentation would be better if you engage more. Maybe use a little bit more voice inflection. Use your hands a little bit more and acknowledge the people in the audience. That will really help us understand why you like dogs better than cats. Issue a challenge. I'm going to challenge you next time to use better eye contact. Just work on that. Just work on better eye contact for the next one. I'm not going to comment on contact. Well, I don't think dogs are better. Dogs are better than cats. I think cats are better than dogs because dogs suck. That doesn't help them at all. And we're going to end with encouragement. Great job today. I look forward to the next time seeing you up here to do your next speech. I'm very excited to see you. If you use those evaluation tips I gave you, you're going to do a fantastic job. Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. Just remember, encourage, tell them what they did well, tell them what they can improve on, and issue a challenge. Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you, David, for that amazing speech. Definitely an effective evaluation, and resilience is key. The world is full of second chances and opportunities, so don't be failed. Don't be scared to take them. Can we get a minute for evaluations timer? Awesome, thank you. Can we get a timer's report for David's speech?
You absolutely can.
Awesome.
David's project was designed to be a 5 to 7 minute presentation. And he went into Robbie Riggs' range of timing with 17 minutes and 13 seconds. Congratulations, David. You are now Robert Riggs.
Oh, I know you want to wait for more than that.
Awesome. Do you guys want to take a 10-minute break, or do you want to continue on to the second portion of the meeting?
It's up to you.
Awesome. Let's take a 10-minute break then, and then hop on over to our second portion at 7:45. Good choice.
17 minutes.
17 minutes, my guy.
Yeah, like almost three speeches. Yeah.
Presentation was on the screen, like, we don't have a feedback for the.
So it's a time response.
Well, think about how to do that.
Yeah, exactly.
I am tired today.
Yeah, I think it's.
So Nina, where you are?
Oh,
Where?
It's a civil consultant, so engineering company.
Okay.
Called
I think
Canadians.
capacity
Okay.
is over
So I worked as a, I usually ask for you.
Yeah, I think he had work.
Okay.
He told me in the gym, like, he met on Friday and he told
Oh,
me,
you saw him?
I saw him on Friday and he told me he might
I
come.
will.
He was like, not sure.
So you masters in structures?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Like bridges.
Oh, yeah, totally, yeah. I was a bridge
You look like a
engineer.
different
Really?
name, so.
I-66.
I meet him often.
I need
Oh, you need a mom like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I work on that.
Like if you want some drawings, he comes.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh,
designing.
so that's fine.
I go to the gym.
So we have
But
been
at each
time.
one night.
Oh, one night,
And he sometimes comes
I
there
thought I was just-
or sometimes he goes to the other one.
Giving back, like,
The other
like,
place I
all
don't
the
watch.
ways for
You have a reminded beard on him?
asset management.
You have a cool beard?
Now, like, I work for-
Not much, really?
Not much.
Just because
I
I'm-
remember like in the Zoom meetings, they had a really cool
Really?
beard.
Oh, you're asking about Rob?
Yeah, Rob.
Oh, Rob, I didn't meet him.
Oh,
I'm
you're talking about that, okay, guys. I thought you were
Yeah,
talking
Rob,
about-
no, I don't know. So
Uh,
Zach told you all the game.
yeah, Jack said,
Mhm.
what was it? Zach said Bob is thinking about coming to that.
Oh, okay.
Or he came
Maybe
back.
it's time.
Yeah.
Maybe he's gonna like take a week of rest.
Yeah.
Just, lie on the bed.
Yeah, definitely. High
Yeah.
power, 6
So all of
months.
this is like.
Yeah, like non-stop, right?
I think so, yeah.
I think probably you have taken some short breaks, but still,
Yeah. I'm excited.
it must have been time.
Going on
The
a
last
year,
time when he talked in speech, he was like,
for a year before that.
200 miles something.
Uncharted.
Yeah.
More than-
Petrol meeting or something.
I would not.
Have you ever met him?
Yeah.
Oh, you did?
I met him before he went to the vacation, right? Like
Oh.
I saw him with Jim. He and Zach used to
2
do
years
this.
charter for 3 years.
Oh.
And I met him that time.
I've never met Zach.
Oh, you got like you're at like Robin person.
I haven't met
What's
Zach.
that?
Rob, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it'll
I'm excited.
fluctuate. Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
He's full of energy.
Yes. So Lee said.
Yes.
Have you ever met Rob in person?
No chance.
You haven't? Okay, I haven't.
And by the time he joined, I think Rob left for that
But since we're back.
vacation.
Oh,
First time I saw him.
In
Never
maybe
did.
in July or something.
This
is a restaurant.
Yeah.
I had to be like watching the computer all the time now.
I think that when you do the speeches.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, I like.
Yeah, the Wi-Fi was way poor, I think, that time.
So what made you want to-
His wife now, her fiance.
Yeah, it's like this.
Correct you in the back. Off screen, you could hear.
Yeah,
She
she was-
my manager, and I'm like, oh, no, the second floor, like, even if I have to- like, I can get on the phone, I'm like, oh my God, I just want to-
Are there no-
You do a lot of practice, you do a lot of presentation.
No, not yet, because I'm just like engineer work right now, so I don't.
So you would come in person?
No,
He might
Yeah.
come maybe next week.
probably like
Zach said
maybe
he
Oh, he
so
would?
I have
Zach
to
said
go
he-
to presentation, so I want to be prepared.
I think so he's coming back today or something.
So he's back.
I didn't
Yeah.
have public speaking.
So he should be back maybe next week.
Survive.
Yes,
You can find out today it took a
Yeah.
while.
We don't have options for public speaking.
The last 100 miles were
Oh, I know, they don't do-
a lot of people actually love.
Oh,
It's like,
Because,
I do
you have to
that.
climb like a bunch of bridges or
Really?
something.
no, it's called 100 miles of wilderness.
All right.
So right, it's in Maine.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So the final summit is Mount Katahdin.
Even as you
It's
say,
100
you
miles
know
up. It's just
You still
really
have to-
thick wood.
You still
Other
have to-
trails, not the
Yeah.
park where like you can get off. nothing.
Right. Presentation.
Planning.
Yeah, I know.
Right? So, right, you see what I mean? So everyone, a lot of people think presentation is like being in front of a room full of people or showing something. you know, we present them to someone, one person at one time. This definitely helps you decide what I do up there. I don't know how I look, but I feel confident and relaxed while I'm up there. I don't feel nervous. But 3 years ago when I first started, it was not really. But I've noticed a lot of, in my job, I deal with commanders, sometimes captain. Once an admiral, but that's not very often. So I'm always presenting, so. But it helped me a lot more confident when I'm talking to people.
Are you relaxed?
A lot more relaxed, so. A lot less self-conscious. A lot less self-conscious, more confident. I should throw the BS flag when I was saying that. Even to a commander. You know what I mean? Like, like, sir, I don't think we want to do that because, you know, or I'm like, well, I don't know what to say. So, that definitely goes confidence.
So when you talk to commanders, you talk about UFOs. And like,
What?
when you talk to commanders and like a bunch of like high ranking officers, you guys talk about UFOs. UFOs, Huawei spy tech.
Yeah.
Nothing.
No,
I feel like you're lying. That's secrets on you.
no, it's all about the
Sometimes
wings.
you're like,
About the ship. She'll get something away.
See the water.
Oh, no. No, no. I travel if I need to. She's employed, I'll travel for 2 weeks or so.
Hey, David.
How's it going?
Hey, can you let me know who is there so I know who to call on?
Yeah, we have Sean Smarkle. We have Sandeep. We have Lee. We have Niv,
Jim
Niv, N-I-V,
and I what? V?
Victor, and Luke Dobbs.
Okay. All right.
Single.
Yes.
Fresh out of school.
No, I have 3 years of experience.
This will definitely, so, I always tell people to get out of it. Because we're here to help you, just like I did the presentation evaluation, we're here to help you. But, yeah, you have
Whenever in the question, you know, we talk about just like who we're talking about.
Yes,
I did.
I went last week.
Are you on last week?
Yeah.
Where you go? Are you on top? Wait, top off in this week? I mean, like, it's like when we first met.
Oh,
we
yeah,
said,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
how rich man is.
Oh, yeah, no, I didn't go to the gym. I don't know many people.
Absolutely. I actually wrote a note to myself. He introduced me in the beginning. I forgot something.
So I traveled to Bangalore.
I'll get you at the
Oh,
end.
nice.
But
Did it tell that
I didn't, because I didn't write my notes.
Okay, so I went in.
So I sent myself an email.
Key West and
So,
Yeah.
and then I.
That's very nice.
Yes.
You write a,
So when you go-
you write a,
Yes.
I was,
Yes.
I did, oh, I'm
I
so
did,
jealous.
and then I did parasailing.
Oh, man.
yeah, so
And then we
remember,
or
So
something.
it's before Italian, since when I was in the US, I was so jealous of people who got to
Okay, so we actually took the
What I
one
did,
package, is that
was
package,
for-
right, you have parasail, newspaper and
So I
kayak,
had to travel
and then the water trampoline,
Yeah.
banana boats.
motivation.
We didn't end up doing everything,
Yeah.
but we did the main things like.
That's
uh,
really cool though,
You
Yeah,
get a
jet
login,
ski,
you log
that's-
into the
that's-
that's our org.
That's the big thing.
And it'll give us
We didn't want to go, but.
all your projects.
But yeah, it was kind of cool.
So
They,
level one,
they serve,
five levels.
so they
level one
took us to a cruise,
is
and so the
right
sea.
Yeah.
And then we had.
The
extended
icebreaker,
night,
feedback.
so we had to
Oh,
lunch
okay.
inside the cruise.
Oh, so you're on a cruise.
Yeah,
Oh.
it's like 10 to 6.
It is like five
Morning 10 to
speeds.
evening 6, you're on the
Right.
cruise.
Oh.
So from the cruise we had to the
So if
different.
you want to, like, move
Oh.
this-
I thought you meant like you drove down to Key West and you moved around like a
Who's watching time?
It is a minute past the time we're supposed to.
Well, me back in order, but.
All right, I am calling the meeting officially back into order. And now we will move on to the second portion of our meeting, which will consist of table topics, which is hosted by Ms. Tammy Adama.
Hello again, everyone. So we have come to the fun part of the evening. And I have to ask, I know Andrew is our timer, but for the people there, are you able to see someone else hold up cards or something? Because your back will be towards the computer. Because each topic is going to be 1 to 2 minutes. You want to talk for at least 1 minute and up to 2 minutes and not over. If you do go over, try not to go past 30 seconds. So they'll hold a green card up when you reach 1 minute, and then when you're at 1.5, it'll be a yellow, and then a red at 2 minutes telling you to finish up.
Whoever's holding the cards just has to mirror me. Like they'll be able to see me on the screen. So I don't have to keep track of the time. They just hold up the cards when I change the colors on my timing screen.
Okay, everybody ready? So for our first, before we start, I'm going to say guidelines. The most important thing is that you're having fun. Some people dread this part. What am I going to say? I don't know what to say. Blah, 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 blah. But you can answer any way you like. So if you want to tell something true about yourself or someone you know, you can do that. But you can also use your imagination and make something up. And no matter what, if you're stuck, just talk about anything. It doesn't even have to be the topic. Just keep talking. And until you see that green card, don't stop. Green means go. So keep going until you see that. And be outrageous. You don't have to, just talk about, you can talk about anything. This is your opportunity. All right. So let's see here. How about Luke? Which number would you like, Luke?
3, please.
3? All right, you're going to come up there so we can see you? All right.
Wow.
No. Candy apples, hot chocolate, s'mores, pick your poison are just some of the treats people enjoy around this time of year. What was your favorite childhood treat? And tell us about a memory that it invokes for you when you were a child. And describe eating that with all of your 5 senses.
Thank you, Table Topics Master.
And before you start, Luke, I want to explain to everybody, the little box up top is a tip. You can incorporate that into what you're talking about or just explain it. So joy is, have joy when you eat. Be grateful. So all over to you, Luke.
Thank you very much, Table Topics Master. Well, given the current month and the festivities of this month, obviously treats are a big part of that. And of course, that would be trick or treating. I would have to say, I wouldn't hone in specifically on a specific treat of trick or treating. Not sure I ever really got any candy apples or pumpkin spice lattes as a treat from trick or treating. But of course, we did get tons and tons of candy. It was always a great memory, especially as you got older. It became more about the competition of trick or treating rather than the probably act of it. So as you get older, the treat bucket got bigger until it became a pillowcase. They could barely carry it at the end of the night, and it became a competition, at least with my brother and I, to run through the neighborhood and knock as many toys as we could and get as many treats as we could, and then see who got the biggest bag, the heaviest bag of candy at the end of the night. That would probably last until next Halloween. And of course, another great memory of those treats was the big candy stock market at the end, where we would sit down and spread them all out across the floor and trade for your favorite ones and just make a big game of it. So that was a lot of joy to be had. And of course, you must be gracious when receiving those treats. So something I would impress upon my own children as they go trick-or-treating, to just really be mindful of the joy of it and be gracious for it as well. Thank you, Table Talks Master. Back to you.
Good job. Yes, trick or treating and those pillowcases. I can remember filling them up with lots of candy that usually everybody in my family stole it after you did all the hard work. All right, who's next? Let's see. How about Andrew?
Okay.
What
Give
number?
me number 7.
Okay. So
Yeah, correct.
when these guys carve these jack-o'-lanterns, it takes a lot of skill. What are your talents, Andrew, and where do you find that you use creativity most in your life?
Well, my creativity, honestly, comes from my ability to come up with new ideas, new ways of perceiving things, new perspectives. In video games, I'm a bit of a tactician. So while there's a standard way of playing a mission in a game, for example, I come up with an unconventional tactic that most people wouldn't think of. And that's where my creative side comes out because I use things totally against their purpose to get the job done. It doesn't make any sense why I would do it that way, but it's effective and it works and it definitely gets people's attention. It's like, oh, well, I never thought of that. I'll give you an example. There's a game called Warframe, and I used to play this game religiously. The thing with Warframe was you could customize your weapons to kind of allow you to fight however you want. I manipulated the melee system to a point where I was generating unlimited damage, which is not supposed to happen. It took the developers of the game 6 months to figure out how I did it so that they could introduce a way of nerfing or disrupting my system so that I could no longer use that exploit. And that's just what I do. I look at things and I figure out how to break them, and then I put it back together again. Back to you, Timmy.
That's awesome. Good job, Andrew. Yes. Sorry, I got a little pop up there. Yes, using creativity is not just, hey, what just happened here? Whoa, pop up ad. There we go. Okay. So creativity is not just for artists and painters, et cetera, et cetera. You can use creativity to solve real life problems or how to hack video games. So good job. Sean, what number would you like?
Let's do number 2.
Okay, so I got 7, 2, 3. You wake up tomorrow and something wonderful has happened. It totally makes your day. What is it? Think big.
And I woke up and I looked at my phone, and it turns out I won $1 million. I don't know how that happened. I might have invested in maybe a Dogecoin, maybe like 20 years ago when it first started. I don't know when it started, or maybe Bitcoin, which started maybe 15 years ago. I don't know, one of those cryptocurrencies, but somehow I got $1 million. I'm surprised. I don't know what to do. I'm shaking. I'm crying. I'm screaming. Like, yeah, I won $1 million. And then I go downstairs. I tell my parents. We're all just crying and celebrating because now we can just live a lifestyle that we've always wanted to. So with that $1 million, I decided to go to Walmart and just buy a bunch of printers and some cameras and some sandals and some iPhones just because I had $1 million. And why not? Because what are you supposed to do with $1 million? Like buy a house, pay your bills? Like that's ridiculous. I'd rather spend my money on something completely ridiculous. And once I'm done spending all that money, I just want to be in a state of shock and fear and live in a Kafka-esque situation because I just literally spent $1 million on a bunch of useless things. So thank you. Back to you, Kim Topics Master.
Good job, Sean. I think that is most people's dream to win $1 million. And I love how you slipped that word of the day in there. I'm still trying to figure that one out. Can't even pronounce it. That's part of the problem. Okay, Lee, come on up. What number, Lee?
Oh, 5.
5? Okay. Let's do 5. You're driving down this beautiful road. What feelings does it invoke in you? What thoughts and dreams come to mind? And what music are you listening to?
Hello, Toastmasters and guests. Road, driving down the road or a road trip. Well, because of COVID and everything going on the last couple of years, really haven't done a whole lot of traveling or road trips or even going away for a weekend. Used to do a lot of that with the JCs. We'd have events and parties and things like that. But I guess one of the nicest drives I've done is well, I've kind of briefly probably talked about it in some of my speeches. The whitewater rafting trip out to West Virginia. When you get closer to the other side of the state, closer to West Virginia, into the small towns, and there's not a lot, see a lot of trees, and especially this time of year, the leaves are changing color, and I think you can see things out on the internet about that, trying to pinpoint the time period, when's it best, which week or which weekend or what day is good that they're projecting to go out there. But I haven't been out that way in a long time, like I said, and except for when we went to Camp GC and the whitewater rafting trips, things like that. I really haven't been out to the western part of the state in the mountains. But I remember years ago, it was just a great drive, great to be away from everything at home and work and all that, and just have some good times, fun times, and just relaxation. Madam Table Topics Master.
Good job, Lee. Yes. Well, I know everyone will be thrilled when we can get back completely to life without COVID and get on those road trips. All right. Sandeep, come on down.
10,
What's that?
10.
10? Okay. They say patience is a virtue. With us a time when you lost your patience. If you could go back and change it, how would you handle it now? Excuse me.
Good evening, Toastmasters and guests. So I remember back, I think 2 to 3 years back, I had a fight with my mom. I think I remember that. So it was some issue with her just giving away money to some strangers. I think she was like very religious and devotional person. So whenever some of the strangers come and ask money just for help, she just hands it over just like that. And I got very irritated once, and I screamed at her and shouted at her like anything. I think we didn't talk like for a week, and that was one of the like depressing situations in my life. And then finally, like I regretted a lot. I was not able to sleep for a few nights, and like I regretted a lot. And then finally, I went and apologized to her, and I said like I shouldn't have shouted at you. Like I could have told that in a more polite manner, and so that is one of the things like which if I had a time machine or something, I'll just go and try to handle that situation in a much better way. So yeah, so I think that's when I learned that I need to be more patient with handling these kind of situations. And yeah, patience is a virtue. Back to you, topics master.
Good job, Sandeep. And you know, it's perfect that you are able to reflect on that and show in other ways and know other ways that you could have handled it so that you can use that in the future. So great job. Niv, are you ready to give it a shot?
Yeah.
All right. What number would you like?
Numbers are taken.
Which one?
What all numbers are taken?
Let's see. 1 and 4, 6, 8. No, 8 was taken. 9.
I do 9.
9. One cool fall day, you hear a knock at your front door. You open it to find
So thanks for the topic. So yeah, and yeah, one could find. Fall is the season when like it's my birthday, and then so when I imagine like one fine day, I have a friend, like who I was for like I haven't seen her for like probably 5 6 years now, and if I open the door and if I see her, I'll be like I'll be giving her a tight hug, and then I'll be taking her around, like showing all the places that I've been to, and yeah, showing her like making her try like different food, and like and what else I drive her around and make her meet all my friends here, say all nice things about being the perks of being in America. And what else? Yeah, it's gonna be a great get together. I feel like I'll be very overwhelmed by the feeling that she's here, and yeah, not just her. Actually, like I want all my friends like back home because I haven't met them for quite some time, and then I want all of them to be coming in front of me like one fine day, and then have them here. Just like have a family, like friends get together. And pretty much that's it. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
yes, friends are a treasure, especially when you haven't seen them in a while. Great job. I think that was your first or second time.
Yeah, second time.
First time in person.
In person.
All right. Who do we have left? David, I know you already did a speech, but since this meeting's short, how about you get up there?
Still. We got
There's 1, 4,
number 4.
4. What is your favorite Halloween costume that you've dressed up as a kid, and how did it make you feel? What was so great about it?
Well, I never really liked Halloween. Don't throw anything at me. I never really liked Halloween. I was always, as a kid, I was always more scared than anything. See, because I grew up in the South Bronx, okay? And Halloween in the South Bronx, it's not like Halloween in Long Island suburbs, okay? It's just not the same. Okay, there's a lot of things that happen in New York City that you just don't want to talk about here, and really frightening. So I never really like Halloween, and we don't celebrate Halloween anymore for our own personal reasons. So I don't really have any costume ideas that I could remember. But when we did try to participate, I just remember it was always had something to do with a trash bag or something that we had to use our imagination for, because just I grew up in the South Bronx, so I didn't have a whole lot of money. So that's basically it. I can't really remember any costumes that I don't have any favorite. I just don't. So back to you, Tim.
Yes, I remember that. I remember being so poor that my uncle took straw, shoved it into my clothes, and told me I was a scarecrow. And I was so itchy. It was terrible. So I can relate. Did we get everyone?
You didn't do one.
Who?
You.
Well, besides me. All right. So you, Mr. Toastmaster.
So thank you so much, Tammy, for the intriguing questions, and also a shout out to everyone who participated. So let's get a round of applause. Good job, everybody. I really loved how quick-witted everyone was. A minute to respond back feels like forever when you're up here. It's just a question that makes no sense. It's just so random. You just gotta think your mind's like moving faster than your mouth or coming out of your mouth. So just really stressful situation, but everyone did a phenomenal job. So let's let's get a timers report.
Absolutely. All righty. Luke came in at 1 minute 31 seconds. Myself, I came in at 1 minute and 52 seconds. Hold on, let me add Sean Markle to the. Sorry about that. Sean came in at 1 minute 27 seconds. Lee Walker came in at 1 minute 37 seconds. Sandeep came in at 1 minute 24 seconds. Niv came in at 1 minute and 22 seconds. And Dave floated his way in at 1 minute and 17 seconds. I thought he was going to go overtime again.
Oh,
yeah. Awesome. Well, let's take a vote then. How's that sound? Hand out some papers. Good. So now that we got our vote in, I will move it on to our third portion of the meeting, which will consist of evaluation. And the evaluator for today is Mr. Luke Dobbs.
Very much, Toastmaster. Well, David's speech was quite the convenient primer for me anyway, as this is one of my first times evaluating, and he basically taught me how to do it. It was great, avoiding what would otherwise be a sort of a Kafka-esque situation for me up here, shaking my boots. So, Dave, what did you do well? Well, you have great stage presence. Really, that's probably one of your highest qualities. I really admire that. You're very established with your voice. You know your style. You're setting your style, and you know how to use it to its very greatest effectiveness. Very great at engaging the audience. The eye contact was on point. You used your hand gestures to really accentuate what you're saying, and usually they were more or less applicable to the situation, as if you're ticking off items of a list or pointing something out and literally pointing. See here, your presentation was very well structured. I appreciated that, and I got to say, the slide composition was just awesome. You know, we've all been in that situation where we're just death by PowerPoint, and you see the first slide, and it's just all text, and what are they doing? Reading up here, line by line. They're just telling you what. No, your slides were vibrant. They're well posed, and it kept you as the focus point, not the slide. So they were just a backdrop to your presentation. I thought they were great. Let's see here, some things you might want to work on. You mentioned within your presentation that you got feedback for your pacing before. You made marked improvement in that. There was a slight bit of pacing. As we know, we want to use our walking to accentuate a moment, perhaps, instead of just subconsciously pacing that before. So there's a little bit of that, but no, I can definitely see the improvement there. As this was a project for research and evaluation, one of the guidelines for that would be to include a citation or a reference or perhaps a quotation of your source material. And I didn't see I might have missed them, I didn't see it pointed, or at least did see that pointed out. So for a project like this, you might want to kind of use them as punctuative marks, or if you're moving on to another topic, you can say, and now we're going to talk about what he says about this, or wherever you're getting your source material from. Just sort of, that way the audience can actually look it up for themselves too if they want to go back and learn some more. A quick challenge may be to do a little bit environment prep. For instance, just maybe do a little early setup or dry run during your speech right off the bat. You kind of had to make some adjustments, and it took some time up to move the podium out of the way and make sure that the screen was set the way you liked it. So maybe a little bit of environment prep would be a challenge for the next one. Other than that, it was a almost perfect speech, and we all learn a lot every time you get up here and teach us what to do. So thank you very much. Back to you.
Well, thank you for the evaluation, Mr. Luke Dobbs. Amazing evaluation. And we'll now move on to our general evaluator, which will be Luke Dobbs, who will give us a description of how the meeting went. I'm not Luke. Lee Walker, sorry, general evaluator Lee Walker. Sorry about that.
We're now in the general evaluation portion of our event this evening. First, let's just go over our role report and see how we move through our event this evening. We'll start off with our grammarian, odd counter, Sandy.
Good evening again. So yes, my report. So David was like almost flawless today. No filler words, no ahs and no ums, nothing. Sean Merkel, I noticed 3 or 4 ahs which he used. Luke Dobbs, you did not use anything during your table topics, but I think during your evaluation you used 5 ahs and 4 ums. Niv, you used 2 ahs. That's what I counted. I'm pretty sure I used more asanams than anyone here. So, and Lee did not use anything. Andrew, I didn't notice anything. Tammy also, I didn't notice any filler words. So today was like almost a great day. For the grammarian report also, I couldn't find any major grammatical mistakes. So I guess that's my report. Back to you.
Good job, Cindy. Our next role report is Word Master, listen up, Luke.
Thank you, Lee. So, to recap, our word of the day was Kafka-esque, deriving from Kafka, the author, describing a situation of his nightmare scenarios. So, our Toastmaster evening used it twice, in fact, during his intro and also during his table topics. And that was it. Well, I used it once for my evaluation. And let's see, I'm sorry. Let me move on to listen up. So, our listen up proportions, we're going to recap to see who was paying attention throughout the meeting. During your intro, what did our Toastmaster of the evening, Sean, say that were some of the notable designators of the month of October? Ready? National something month, perhaps? I recall pizza. That was a good one.
National Pizza.
Low hanging fruit would be Halloween. Okay. That was a toss up, so it's going to get harder from here. All right. So our speaker of the night was David Marshall. What did he say was the primary function of an evaluation? What does evaluation do in general, in essence?
Effective, constructive feedback.
Feedback, exactly. And giving an evaluation, what should you focus on? What are the do's of your focus?
Delivery of the speech instead of the content.
And what are the don'ts?
Don't.
You just said that.
Yeah, he said that.
Good job, good job. See here, let's move on to our table topics. Where did Andrew employ his creativity?
Video games.
War Thunder.
Oh, specifically
War
one.
Thunder.
Warframe.
Oh, Warframe.
You're right, you're right.
Warframe.
You're right.
I was gonna give him credit for video games, is like, yeah. And where did Lee take his picturesque road to?
To the West Virginia.
West Virginia.
To do what?
To white water raft.
That's right. And what did Sandeep's mother do to cause him to lose his patience? She gave money. It's a stranger paying, that's right. Yeah. Who showed up at Nib's door?
Oh, best friend.
That's right. All right, excellent job. You listened very well. Thank you very much.
Now I'll just give a couple of thank yous out to our next roles. Timer and Andrew, well, good job, Andrew.
I still need to give a timer's report for the evaluation.
Thank you. Go ahead.
So Luke Dobbs' evaluation was 2 minutes and 54 seconds. So he by default wins best evaluator.
Thank Tabletop Master Tammy Adam. Even gave us more clues tonight, had little words and sayings to give us clues to help us out. But he always does a great job. For the general evaluation of our event, I know Zach does a lot of work behind the scenes. He had to work this evening, so he couldn't be here with us. But I know he does a lot of work behind the scenes. David, Andrew, a few of you guys are communicating and working. I know I'm kind of off in the back, not too much, and I step up when needed to help out. And I think that's good. We come together as a club to help each other out, and we've got a lot of things going on, and I think we're still trying to use our way back in here to ECPI and feel comfortable here. And I know we feel good. We feel great, encouraged. happy to be here in person and around other people and interaction. It makes me feel better, and I'm giving another speech in my other club tomorrow night, and I'm excited. It's not a real happy topic, but I've done that before, and everything's up here in my head anyway, so it's good. But that's really all I have. Let's call up our Toastmaster of the evening, Sean.
Well, that basically pretty much wraps up our meeting. This is my first time ever doing the Toastmasters evening, so I was quite nervous. I didn't know what to expect, and I hope it wasn't bad, and I hope it was a fun and exciting experience. What would you guys say? How was my?
Do it again. Do it again. Do it again.
Thank you. And a huge shout out to Lee, who came through and became the general evaluator last second, and also Sandeep, who became the grammarian last second too. So thank you guys. You guys came in clutch. So round of applause for you guys. We'll give our closing remarks to Mr. David Marshall, our club president.
Music.
All right, yeah.
That we could add first. We know that. Environmental See, but I just got that feedback, so I'm gonna give you some time to implement. Gotta have fun, right? I like keep saying this, but I like coming back to in person. It's just, I just got tired of sitting there. Anyway, enough of that. I've said that enough. You get the point, right? So I want to go back and introduce Niv, because Niv is our guest here. Well, she's joined us on Zoom, but this is her first time here with us in person. So Niv, would you like to speak? Tell us a little bit about yourself and why you want to join us and that sort of thing.
So hi everyone. So my name is Niv. Actually, my full name is Nivedita Narayanappa. So I go with Niv, and I'm a civil engineer. So I have a lot of fear of public speaking. So sitting there, I was able to hey, this topic, I can talk about that. And when I come up here, I was like, oh my god, I just went blank for a second. So it's kind of hard. So I want to get used to that, speaking and having eye contact and then making that connection with people. So that's the reason I'm here, and then I want to improve on that.
All right.
So yep, and thanks for having me.
Yeah. Anytime.
Sure, yeah, definitely.
Absolutely. Glad to have you. Civil engineer. That's awesome. I consider that, but I went mechanical engineering, so there you have it. All right. I don't have any announcements. Like I said, this is a short event, so let's go ahead and let's show next week's agenda. Let's go there. I do want to point out pathways. So let's go. I probably went 17 minutes because I probably chose the wrong path project. I'd have to go in pathways and see. So that's probably why I went 17 minutes. Probably should have chose maybe a level 3 and use that as the project.
So what I'm going to say to that is this. When it comes to teaching evaluations, it doesn't really matter what project you choose. Just know that it's going to be more than 7 minutes.
Well, no, I'm saying that if I would have chosen a project, I didn't. If I would have chosen like a level 3 that was maybe 20 minutes, I would have been.
Actually, I think with the way they redid pathways, the only 20-minute project is in level 5.
Okay.
Actually, see, 20-minute or 30-minute, whatever.
What I'm getting at is that I should have chosen the project a little bit more appropriate. So I just want to point out that let's go back, let's go into pathways, let's find our projects and let's get them done. You know what I mean? That's how we're going to continue is and move forward is to let's look and see what our projects are. So I just want to point that out. We get a lot of it, a lot of these projects. We get out, we put it. All right. So what do we have for the agenda?
Everything is fair game except that Tammy has taken speech number 1. And that's it. For some reason, Lee Walker is still listed as Sergeant at Arms.
Oh, it's probably put it on.
So
Is that next Tuesday?
this is for next Tuesday, October 12th, 2021. Any volunteers for any open position?
I'll do general evaluator.
Mr. David Marshall has agreed to do general evaluator.
I'll give a speech.
Who was that?
Sean's more.
Toastmaster of the evening.
Ron Markle.
So let's not give Ash,
I'm in the middle of a Zoom meeting. Hold on, I'll be.
don't feed Ash last.
Give me a minute. All right. Any volunteers for timer, topics master, word master, listen up, grammarian, eye counter, Toastmaster evening?
Hey, you want to try? Would you like to try a helper role?
Sure, yeah.
Maybe. What do you think? So grammarian, eye counter, grammarian, what Sandeep did, right? He will look for grammar and count the full words. So
Yeah, I can do that.
we'll do that. We'll do eye counter for Deb. We'll have to do a Sean.
I don't need money to do something.
What's that?
Money,
It's up there.
I don't know.
No, it's not up here.
Have to move her. Yeah. Sandeep, you'll be with us next week.
Yeah, I'll be here.
You know.
Yeah.
What's Sandeep want to do?
You want to pick up anything? And,
Yeah, okay. I'll let you know maybe.
you let us know there.
Maybe I'll do the topics master as well.
Oh yeah.
All right.
I got, yeah, okay, I'll try.
Okay.
I've not done that yet, so.
Yeah, okay. So you see how you don't have to be Tammy's the one of a kind on topics, different topics. She likes to do all that stuff. Yeah, and it's always very interesting. But you can do pretty much any stuff you want. Sean did a great job last week. Was it last week you too?
Yeah.
Last week. So he had his own style.
I have to point out that we've been in person for over a month now and no one has signed up for Snackmaster. What's up with that?
Oh yeah, that's right. Snack Master, we do have to bring that back.
Yeah, it's time to bring back Snackmaster.
Snack Master is exactly what it sounds like.
Yeah, bring snacks for the in-person people. Bag of chips, bottled water,
Right.
some hummus.
Oh, no. Let's not do that. No, I'm joking. All right. So everyone knows how to get on to New Beginnings Toastmasters website, right? So you go on New Beginnings Toastmasters website and log in, fill in whatever role you want to pick up. And that's also how you fill in your speech details and movie. Did you have my evaluation form? That's where, so you know. Okay, awesome, cool. Fantastic. That's something I gotta add to my presentation too. So probably be 3 minutes longer. I'm joking. Okay, so normally we will meet at Wing King. Zach's not here, so we won't meet at Topgolf this week. Melissa's working there now. So.
I believe he is at Top Golf right now, so you should be able to get in there.
Might be able to go there. I'm not going. I started this event while I'm saying I'm tired, and I'm still tired. So I'm going back to the house right after this. What? Did you want to try to meet Zach?
Without you.
No, I'll call and see.
Zach said is that?
Yeah, he.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, isn't that a top golf?
He's not a top golf. Okay.
Oh, he's not at Top Golf. Oh,
Yeah.
well, that's lame.
Was it fun?